do everything before you're ready. If you've ever visited me at home, you'll notice that things are all put in height order, labels are facing out, and where possible, they're also in color order. I like towels to be folded neatly with all the ends matching, and added to that, coming from a background of being a lawyer by trade and having spent time in advertising, I'm someone who's very used to just putting things out there once they're done and perfect. And it's something that I really had to fight and still have to fight to overcome in starting a business, because advice to action is really critical when you're starting out. I remember the day that Mike, Michael and I sat down to decide together whether it was the right time for me to join the business full time. And one of the things that will always stick with me that came up in that discussion was something Mike said. He said, "Come on, let's fail fast." And he was totally right, and still is today. What he was getting to was, it's better to put your effort in and give something a really good go and fail fast if it's something that's not going to work out, rather than spend a long time with lots of resources and energy, testing something and, it's not going to work. You're better to reallocate those resources to something else. I discovered along the way, and I will admit at the pushing and urging of my co-founders, that if you hold things back until they're perfect, you're really putting the business at a big disadvantage. You learn so much more on the first day of doing than all of the time spent planning. Also too, when you put something out there for people to try, they love giving comments, thoughts, and the only thing they love more than that is seeing that you listened and made the change. I know in startup land, it's super common to have, a minimum viable product, MVP, and to test things, not because we think they're the end product, but because we want to know how they work. But I still have this desire to, perfect things before I share. And that's why even today, my mantra still is, do everything before you're ready. I still need this mantra today, both professionally and personally. But what's your mantra or great piece of advice that you've heard? I'd be so interested to hear it, and please share it in the comments below. You might inspire somebody else to pick up your mantra as well, and that would be super helpful. So now you know why I'm always talking about doing everything before you're ready. So have a great week. I'll have another video up soon, and don't forget, do everything before you're ready. Of course. Bye.